Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football with me, Gary Lineker. We have no Micah Richards or Alan Shearer for this episode, but we do have a very special guest, a former Ballon d'Or winner, Serie A winner, Champions League winner, and hero of Ukrainian football and much more. A warm welcome to Andriy Shevchenko. Welcome, Andriy. Lovely to see you.
Thank you so much, Gary.
You've got a new book out called My Life, My Football. I've read it over the last 2 days. Highly recommended. It's very entertaining, very interesting. It starts with the war, the recent war, the invasion of Ukraine, and a phone call that you received from your mother. So I think perhaps we should start there as well. How difficult have these last couple of years been?
It's been very tough, and the war is not stop. It's getting worse, and if go back and remember that moment when my mom called me early in the morning, and her voice was it's difficult to describe. She was very nervous. Emotional, yeah. And I realized that for a few weeks we know that it could something happen because there was a lot of rumor talking about, but I can't believe that Russia will get in action to start the full war against Ukraine. And when the mom called me and said that, I was in shock.
Yeah, what did she say exactly?
She's basically crying, and she said that the war started because she heard the big explosion, and in the radio the people start to saying that the Russian helicopters coming inside of the Ukrainian land, and that was some important infrastructure, airports been hit by missiles, and this is how I know about the war being started.
And how was that for you receiving that phone call? Must have been quite terrifying.
Yeah, it was terrifying, and I was in shock. I was frustrating because I just wake up. I immediately talked to my wife, and I was very early in the morning, but I said this, I don't know what I have to do, I go back or not. And it's been a lot of phone calls for the friends, and it's a lot of people was in shock. And I remember that it's immediately there was the field of traffic. The people tried to leave the country, try to leave Kiev, and it's absolutely how it started.
Your mother's in Kiev?
My mom decided to stay.
Yeah.
My mom and my sister decided to stay, and I said, Mom, please, I can provide you everything that move you. She said, no, that we want to stay in the house. We want to see, we don't know for how long this war going to be. And then basically we don't know we just want to wait a little bit.
How hard is that, though, for you, knowing that perhaps your mother and your sister and I presume many friends and other family that you have at home, how difficult is that for you, thinking about them back there?
No, it was tough. It just, we didn't know the plans of the Putin.
Yeah.
We didn't plans of Russian, what exactly Russian planning. And then there was first talk of Putin. He said the plans of the Russia, and he wanna kind of clear, and we realize he gonna be very serious. He gonna be for long, because the actual war start 2014 for us. But
yeah, of course, yeah.
The first invasion, it was Crimea, Donetsk, start 2014. And then this is the second part, but this we know it's gonna be a lot more bigger. Personally, for me, I was worried about my family, but also I was worried about existence of Ukraine, because when someone starts second time that I realized that it's gonna be very serious, and the potential with the Russian army is very big. But after a couple of days, I realized that people Ukraine stand up. That the very famous speech of the President Zelensky to address to the country, to the people of Ukraine, address to the world that he's not gonna leave, he can stay in Ukraine, and then people united around him. And then just everything start to moving so fast.
What about you? Because I know that President Zelensky, talk about it in the book, that he got in touch with you, got in touch, and you were trying to help, and you were made, you were given a position.
Yeah, my position is pretty much organize the charity event for Ukraine and try to raise the funds to help people in Ukraine. Yeah. That is my position. I'm his advisor, but out from the staff. I'm not the part of any politician party or something. I'm just like freelance, try to help my country and advise him about some sport event, what I think can make big difference, because sport in general, football in general, have such a big power, united people. And we did very good match for Ukraine, called Football for Ukraine, in Stamford Bridge. Would try to raise money to rebuild the school in Chernigov. And that event went well, and I've tried to organize much more the event to help Ukraine.
I suppose in many ways, for you, you grew up as part of Russia, and there's the old Soviet Union, and now obviously in 1991, didn't it got independence, and Ukraine became its own country. In many ways, it must be incredibly difficult to understand why basically your fellow countrymen could do this against your same people.
I call that false reality, because we was living in some world what not exactly reflected the truth. For me, false reality, when you living with someone what is saying we are brother, we are good friends, and separation from Russia in 1991, I think so. That was the big part. We start to get independence, but we realized that it's something not. It's something different between Ukrainian and Russian culture, and then more time was passing, more that separation start to getting bigger and bigger. And I think the reason that the Russia probably start invasion on 2014, that he want the Ukraine stay close, but we want to live in separate, to be separate country. Our vision, my vision, most of the people of Ukraine, that vision to live a freedom life.
What was it like growing up in Kyiv, which was, as we said, part of Russia in that point? Tough upbringing?
No, in the beginning was, I've said that it was fun, because when you young boy, you basically wake up every day, you go to school playing football, play different sport. You have a dream to become professional football player, and it was fun for me. I was going around playing football, joined age 9 the Dynamo Kyiv youth team, and that was fun. My first coach, basically, he discovered me. I was playing some very small tournament in my region, and he comes just try to search for young talent, and he asked me to come. This is how I start to play for Dynamo Kyiv.
And I think you said you were 9 years old. That was also the time that you had to be evacuated because of Chernobyl.
Yeah, that was some crazy time, because in the time when I was joined Dynamo Kiev, just I think the months or even couple of weeks after the Chernobyl tragedies, there was a big explosion of Chernobyl reactor, and like about months. We know is something happened, but Union Soviet keep it everything very quiet, secret. But my dad, he was in, he served to Russian military at that time, and he knows that some serious stuff come. And there is also a story when I brought the ball.
She found in a tree.
Yeah, I found there's couple balls in some old building, and I brought couple in the house. And that time, my dad he come with the device who can measure the
kind of radioactive detector.
Radioactivity, yeah, exactly. And when he did, he is actually like, say we have to throw this ball, and then
so the ball was radioactive.
Yeah, radioactivity. Wow. Yeah, and he said we immediately have to burn that. And in 24 hours, the authority decide to remove all the young people from Kiev, because I saw the series about Chernobyl.
I saw it as well.
Yeah, and then I actually didn't know during this series, he explained it exactly, because what happened after months when the reactor was exploded, that there was a serious problem. It could happen. I think for that reason, we all been evacuated from Kiev. Yeah. And then basically evacuation come in 24 hours. Like that was the order to everybody moves. My mom come, it was my sister too. He did the luggage for us, and then all the school been taken by bus to a train station, and we just move from Kiev to near to Azov Sea, and then we just stayed there for 3 months.
3 months. What was that? Must have been strange, or
very strange. But again, we was very worried. We didn't know what's going on because nobody was safe. But I stay close to my sister. We was in the same village. We was safe. We was playing a lot of sport. You know, my sister looked after me because she's a little bit older than me, and that was okay. And we come back, and then we restart the school. And I was never thinking even to go back and train with Dynamo Kiev.
Oh, you thought that might be it, all over?
Yeah, no, I was not take some serious, but like I think that was in September or early October. My first coach basically come to my house and then talk to my parents. And when I walk inside, I was surprised he was there, and he just remind me that I was part of youth team and I wanna restart to practice with Dynamo Kiev. And obviously I was very surprised, but that was my career started.
I find it very interesting, your relationship, particularly with your father, who was obviously very important. You're talking about your schoolwork and it wasn't going particularly well, and then you said you were determined to be a footballer at that stage. And he gave you a 12-month ultimatum at one point, didn't he?
Yeah, the story was I was not sure. I couldn't find the team, and then that was the time when I have to apply to the university. And actually, I applied to university, but I didn't pass the exams. And then I just come back to home, and I was very upset. And then we have a family chat. Whereas my dad, he was talking to me like maybe is it time to change the route, maybe to go next year. He could help me to go maybe in different direction.
The military, I think.
Military, yeah,
that's
exactly.
what your father was.
Yeah. And then, but I was quite confident about my future. Like I said to him, like, give me year 12 months, please, and if I can prove, my desire, my quality, my what I dreaming to be. And then things got my dad was a good man. He gave me this opportunity because my mom convinced him, like
that's usually the way.
Yeah, she did all the work behind, and she said, like, yeah. And then 2, 3, 4 months after, everything changed for me.
Mind you, I think that's a good motivation, not to join the military or be a footballer. You're going to try extra hard,
exactly,
aren't you?
Yeah.
It's probably a slightly better life than in the military.
But it's very similar, because in the condition when I was training with Valery Lobanovsky.
He was very important to you, wasn't he, Lobanovsky?
Yeah, but very similar to military camp.
In his training, it was that hard, was it?
Yeah, but we kind of very hard, but like two training a day is normal, and then also we have to live inside of the training camp, and we had rooms there. He doesn't have it. He give us holidays, but we mostly stay there. It's like proper camp.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
But obviously did well for you. You ended up making it obviously at Dynamo Kyiv, and the world started to take note of Andriy Shevchenko.
Yeah.
And clubs were interested in you. And the big one came along, didn't it? AC Milan. Tell us how that happened.
I think the crucial moment in my career, that was the game against Barcelona.
The hat-trick.
Yeah, hat-trick, no camp. Yeah.
You've got to be a good player to do that.
Yeah, that was the moment when I really shine in the game, and then the Champions League, Barcelona, Luis van Gaal coach, Figo, Rivaldo, Guardiola, I think played too.
It would have been, probably.
Yeah, I mean, great team, great players, and we beat Barcelona away 4-0, and then I scored hat-trick. After that, I think the rumors start to come out, and a lot of scouting, and then teams start to look at me.
Yeah.
But
was it at this stage of your career when you did something like that you perhaps started to believe even more in yourself, or did you always think that you would get to the top?
No, I very much confidence about me, because I might not that confidence real life, but when I go in the pitch, I know what I'm doing.
It's interesting. I saw in your book that you talked about that. You said that I'm actually quite shy, quite timid off the pitch in groups with people.
Yeah.
And sometimes people read that the wrong way. I think you said something like, what was it? You said, people sticking 1,000 labels on my back. What did you mean by that? Do you think people thought perhaps it was an arrogance, or?
In real life, I could be shy, and I like do my stuff. I'm focusing on the stuff. I love sport, and in general, but I'm quite shy. I'm not talk a lot. Maybe if I didn't know people well, and then I might didn't look confident, but. If I go in the pitch, that is my...
You're a different human being.
Yeah, that is my part where I really feel well there.
How was it for a young boy going from Ukraine suddenly in the limelight of playing for a big club like Milan? Must have been some pressure there.
Yeah, big pressure, a lot of responsibility. And... Valery Lobanovsky, he played big part on that in my transition between Dynamo Kyiv players to AC Milan. We talk a lot before my transfer because he did agree that was for me is the best time to live in club, because he doesn't want to hold me for a long time, because he said that you're ready now. We talk a lot, and then I remember that important words what he said to me, like, I know you're ready now, but remember that you got in a level. It's very difficult, but more difficult to stay a longer longevity of your career. You need to really work on that. You need to have a plans how you wanna keep it your career in a long period. And then that conversation is kind of stuck on my head, because in the beginning I was like everyone, were quite young age, loves to go out, have a fun with the people. But he brought that a mentality for me to be more responsible, discipline, and that is work on me, and in a very good way.
If you get that person that you respect, and even if you're a little bit scared of them or intimidated by them, they can, because it's very easy to go off the rails, isn't it, when you're a young footballer?
But when I joined to Milan, my clear pictures that I wanna get success in there, and I have to work hard. And then this is what I did. I just concentrate. I didn't go anywhere. And then I was lucky also because the group of Milan players, that was such a good people. And then they look after me. Players like Billy Costacurta, Demetrio Albertini, senior players, Paolo Maldini. You always look after me, especially in the first year. Like Billy Costacurta, he invited me to the dinner every time. He helped me to learn Italian. He looked after me. And then that time, Alberto Zaccheroni, coach, he also give me a little bit time to adapt for Italian football. Italian football is very different, tough,
defensive as well, hard for a striker. Which brings me to the start of your relationship with Silvio Berlusconi, which is a very interesting one. It's a thread through that part of your career. And when you first signed for them, I had a little challenge for the amount of goals that you scored.
Yeah, I was in shock a little bit, because in Ukraine, the attention for the players is very different. Like Italy, if you play football, you basically you something like Italian lives for football, loves personality, loves great player. And then I think the Berlusconi probably saw, and then they believe in my career in AC Milan. And they've been so nice. And the first time when I met him, he, in front of everyone, he said, if I score a 24 goal, and then first season, because Van Basten scored that time 24, he said that he gonna give me boat, for take the to go to vacation, and basically that was the challenge. And then that first season, I scored 23 goals, not 24, but
and one short.
One short, but anyway, he responded for his words, and we got the boat, and then I invite my friends from AC Milan, and we did a very nice vacation.
Perfect. You took the number 7 at Milan as well. That's quite an interesting story, isn't it? The significance of the number 7.
I was playing under 10 in Dynamo Kyiv, and when I joined the AC Milan, that time number 10 was Boban, and then he is such a great player that I know.
Great guy. I know him well.
Yeah, great guy. Yeah. We become very good friends. In the time when I was playing, and I know it's no chance I can get that number, but Ibrahim Ba, the French player. We become good friends, and he come to me, he said, Andriy, take my number, 7. They say, he's going to bring you luck.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, thank you so much. And 7 in Hebrew, is a Sheva.
Sheva, which is your nickname.
Is a nickname, yeah.
So, and you didn't know that before? You chose the 7?
No.
Yeah. And it was quite a lucky number, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You had an unbelievable time at Milan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously the pinnacle of your career.
Yeah, that was a great part. And a lot of success, a lot of good games, great partnership with the friends. We was like family, we go along. In Italian culture, if you go along with the people, you have a very good time.
Yeah. Also, Real Madrid came in for you at that point.
Yeah.
And you went and told Silvio Berlusconi. You turned it down. Turned down the possibility of Real Madrid. Not many people do that.
I justified that I just joined AC Milan. That was my second year, just finished. And then when Silvio called me and he asked me what I think about, because there's a serious offer. And that time, that always Real Madrid is a big team, and he said it's not only him I have to make the decision, because it's also my life.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't finish something what I started here. I didn't win anything. I want to win with AC Milan something, and then say good. Yeah. And then he turned down the offer, and I stayed there.
What was he like? Because he has a mixed reputation. What's Berlusconi the man? What was he really like? Obviously, he passed away recently.
I want to talk about Berlusconi, what I know when he was in AC Milan, where in my career, because obviously, the time has passed. There was some controversial situation too about Ukraine, but I'm going to talk about when I was there. He's basically, he's a great owner. He loves football. He gives everything to the players, and he really cares about AC Milan.
And he's godfather to your eldest boy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Let's go on to winning things, which is very important, isn't it? And when you're with Milan, it's really a tale of 2 penalty shootouts, isn't it? I mean, when you're talking about the Champions League, one memorable, one that you'd probably want to forget. But let's take the first one. You played the game, it was Old Trafford, wasn't it, against Juventus?
Yeah.
It was 0-0 after full time. It was 0-0 after extra time, and it went to penalties. And Ancelotti wanted you to go first or second.
No, he asked,
in the shootout, but
exactly. Yeah. He asked me, if I go. I think he asked me to go second, and then I said, no. I go last one.
Fifth, number 5. Which you don't always know is going to be the last one.
Exactly,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, there is a good chance.
That was the reason why I said that. And then, obviously, he wanted me to go second or first because I was the current penalty shooter. And then he said, in his view, probably is right. The best player have to go to. But I feel like I said, I want to go last one. I don't know why, but I have such a strong feeling about that. And
so you go through, you've now got a penalty to win the Champions League. I've done that, not in a Champions League final, but I've done that walk from the halfway line in a big game, which is quite tense, isn't it? Yeah,
that was a great feeling when you walk. You just, first of all, and all my life come through, when I was a young boy dreaming to win Champions League, and then this is the moment, score the goal and you win it.
What's different about a penalty shootout, though, is that when you play in a game normally and you've got an opportunity to score, you don't have much time to think. Yeah. But with a penalty shootout, you've got a lot of time to think about it walking up to the take the spot kick, haven't you?
That was the one of the reasons why I take the decision before, and then I walk there and I say, look, just stuck with the decision what you want to do. Just stay there and don't change your mind. I know if in the moment when you maybe was not sure, you change something, you're going to miss for sure. And then I just stuck. I said, I want to, because I was looking Gigi Buffon, he always moving before the player shooting. Yeah. And then I said, you have to give you time to see where is he going to die. Yeah. And then I just, in the moment when, there's also the moment when I took the ball and then I look the referee, look the goalkeeper, referee, goalkeeper. It come like that for 3 or 4 times because I didn't hear the whistle. And then everybody was like,
is he going to take this?
You're going to take that. And I looked, and then a referee said, yeah, you could go on.
Good to go.
Said, okay, fine. And I put the ball and just give me that time to look the goalkeeper. And then I saw he was moving the sides and I just slowed down slightly. And when he was diving on the right, and I put the ball on the left.
There's no better sight than seeing a goalkeeper going in the opposite direction to the ball.
Yeah.
Especially, I imagine, in a Champions League final and you win. Describe the emotion of that moment, if you can.
It's probably is impossible, but it's like going on the moon. It's something, We're so happy because the game in the end was very difficult. We spent a lot of energy. I remember it was a celebration and we were so happy, but in the moment when we walked to the dressing room, we were so tired that we lying on the floor and then just stayed there like for half hour just
it says in the book
to
that
rest.
You actually fell asleep in the dressing room after the game of winning Now, I find that like extraordinary. So there you are. You've won the Champions League for Milan. You scored the winning penalty. You've got all that euphoria. And then you get in the dressing room and you nod off for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Because I lost so much energy. Like it's so emotional, the game come, and because the big rivals, nobody want to lose the game. Even the game finished 0-0, but was a lot of opportunity to score, and it was the real battle. It's not just game; it was the battle. We spent so much energy,
the emotion, and of course, I don't know. I think it's very difficult to people to understand how hard extra time is at the end because you focus on that 90 minutes and then you've got to produce again. It's incredibly exhausting, isn't it?
Yeah. But anyway, we did a great celebration after that was my family come, my wife was there, a lot of friends and teammates. We did a good celebration.
So I believe, including, because you were staying at Mottram Hall, which there's a golf course at that hotel. You were celebrating at 5 a.m. on the golf course?
I don't think there was a golf course, but golf course was closed. But like 5 a.m, we start playing football.
Playing football,
yeah. I remember Gattuso, Pirlo, Nesta. We just start running there because it's so much energy come from the celebration.
That's because you had a good sleep for 20 minutes in the dressing room.
Exactly.
You got a bit more energy to go. Thank you, Andriy. This is fascinating stuff. Let's take a little break. Welcome back to The Rest is Football with me, Gary Lineker. I'm joined by Andriy Shevchenko. Fascinating chat about his life and his career, which is all put into words in his book. This is now out, called My Life, My Football. Highly recommend it. I've read it over the last couple of days, and it's lovely to talk to you about it, Andriy. There's a very moving chapter in the book about your father and his heart problems and his heart transplant he had in the end.
Yeah.
That you brought him to Milan to do that. That must have been a traumatic period.
It was a very difficult period. Also, it was happening in Kiev just before the very famous game Russia against Ukraine.
Yes.
Yeah, when we draw that game 1-1 and then his part of the history. Like it's a significant moment for Ukrainian football fans and in general, because that game is something very special for us. We was losing 1-0 and I scored that. In the end, the goal was we draw, and then they give us.
Was that the goal from long range?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. That goalkeeper made mistake, but anyway, and then the whole story also. I mean, my father didn't feel well, and then we played this game. That was bad press. We have to stay in embassy in Ukraine because that was the risky about. The safe risk. We have to stay in embassy, and then anyway, my father was didn't recover well about his second infarct, and I moved. We decided to move him to Italy, and he had the very big operation. The first one was he put him 4 bypass, and his recovery started to get much better. But after 5 months, I spoke to the doctor. He said that the heart of father, he didn't work well, and then in general, what happened? He started to come big, and then he didn't work properly, and then the doctor said we need to do some heart transplant,
which is obviously that's a huge deal, and the club and people like Berlusconi were very helpful in that period.
Yeah, the club really stayed behind me, and Berlusconi he helped provide the good clinic, and the doctor, the Professor Vigano, who was the professor on Pavia Hospital that time, he is one of the best about heart transplant.
It's quite difficult to find a donor for something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, but that was the time when we have to wait. And then also before that, my family decided for the vacation go for the short period to go back to Ukraine. And then my dad didn't feel well. He had the pneumonia, and then I was in New York. I have to flew back to Kiev, and then basically talking to my mom, talking to the doctor, and that time he gave like probably 10 hours life my father, and then I have to flew, and I get in the time, I talk to him, and then even if it doesn't feel well that period, because the doctor was really consider that he has very short time. Anyway, we did the operation, and operation went very well. And then thank you for Professor Vigano, who was amazing.
Yeah. And then you went to witness a heart transplant operation yourself, didn't you?
Yeah.
Actually,
inside
surgery.
Of the surgery room. I think and during that time I come very close to the professor. He loves my family, and we had a very good dinner a couple times, and then I was also very curious because I want to know what's going on, how this work, what the operation. Anyway, he realized that I very curious about this operation, and then he asked me if one day I wanna assist him to look the operation, and I say of course. And then I still remember that was like probably September, and around 11:30 he called me, and then I was
11:30 at night.
Yeah, he called me, and then he said, Andriy, this opportunity. We probably the heart gonna arrive free in the morning. You have a time to come in hospital if you still want to
see it,
assist me. I say Of course, yeah. And then I actually went there.
I think it puts football into perspective a little bit when you see something like that, I imagine.
Yeah. It's absolutely different perspective of see the life of the people. And then I was basically a little bit in shock, but I react well. I saw everything. I was standing and I saw the open body and all the organs, everything, and how everything works. I was very curious about, but it's absolutely different world that people, the doctors is doing an amazing job, risky, because it's some small, some deep moves, no, not right moves, are gonna cost life of the people.
Makes missing a penalty seem not too bad. If you get it wrong doing that, it's a different world. I've seen a heart operation as well. Something else I did, not a heart transplant, but it was a heart operation. It's quite extraordinary the way they open the chest and stuff, isn't it? But incredible stuff. Your father, he lived on for a while. He's no longer with us. He was an important part of your life, obviously, and you must miss him.
Yeah, I miss him a lot, and then he is the family give me very strong value of the principle of the life. Like my father was a tough guy because he started working. He was very young boy, and then he have to carry the family. He come military servant for Russian. He spent his entire life to do that, and also have experience to living abroad. He was serving Russian army in Germany, and then east of Germany in Potsdam. This actually where is my sister born. And he gave me very, very strong principle of the life, and it's important to be kind, work hard, and respect the people.
Tell me about the moment that you heard you'd won the Ballon d'Or.
I was coming. That was my dream, because growing up in Ukraine, be part of the Dynamo Kyiv U team. And then I was big fan of Dynamo Kyiv. Go and watch the stadium. And Bilanov and Oleg Blokhin, two heroes for me, both won the Ballon d'Or.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I know.
1986, Oleg. Belanov.
You come second.
I came second, but I mean, I'm not going to whinge and moan about it. But I mean, Belanov was an excellent footballer, and he had a good World Cup, and he hit one incredible goal.
That goal,
and he scored. I think he scored 4, but I'd scored 30 as the top scorer in the English First Division for Everton. I'd top scorer in the World Cup. I had hat-trick in the Classico, 4 goals for England in Spain, and I didn't win it.
Gary, I have to.
Not that I'm bitter.
I have to confess something to you, because I think I already told you that. But I was watching that World Cup, and then
you're a child.
I was very impressed, and about your performance. That was great.
Very kind.
You played great, and you was leader of the England team.
You're very kind, but I still haven't got my Ballon d'Or. But you have.
Anyway,
and it was important to you, obviously. It's actually, I don't think people realise in this country how big the Ballon d'Or used to be. Everywhere else in the world, it wasn't really a thing here. Nobody. I mean, it was the old European Football of the Year, and then it became, which was the Ballon d'Or eventually. But it's only in the last, I don't know, 10 years probably, that it's become huge here as well, that everybody talks about it. Maybe a bit longer ago than that, but it is a big thing everywhere else, really huge. Yeah,
because it's an individual trophy.
It's the Oscars of the football.
Exactly. Yeah, because they actually give you opportunity, to great opportunity. And then for me, I was dreaming, and then I know that moment coming for me. And then I've say a couple times very close. I was, I think, twice in the top 3, and then coming 7 or 8 times in top 10. But the crucial moment in the victory of the Ballon d'Or for me, that was the qualified Ukraine to World Cup. And then I was the top goal scorer for the team. I scored, I think, in that qualified 10 or 11 goals. And then we was doing very well with AC Milan. We won the Scudetto. And then Champions League, I was doing well. And I feel like it could be my season.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever a surprise for the person that wins it, is it? I think they generally tell you.
No, actually, it depends, because obviously, you know, if it's that year, it was the 3 players who were in a very similar position.
Who were
like
the other
me.
2?
That time it was 3 great players: Deco, Thierry Henry, and Ronaldinho. We all coming from great national teams: France, Portugal, and Brazil.
Decent, good 3 players there.
Yeah, great 3 players. I mean, and then I know equally we both doing great, you know. And then this is what I said. I think the World Cup, it really like put me up on a pole position, because that was the first qualified for Ukraine. And then obviously, you know, when you're playing for France or Brazil, it's a different to qualify for playing for Ukraine. It's Brazil and France give you such a great team, give you a lot of opportunity, you know. For me, that was, I have to do a lot more for help Ukraine to qualify.
I've got to talk about Istanbul. I'm very sorry.
No, it
was one of the most extraordinary games of football I've ever seen. I mean, it was incredibly one-sided.
Yeah.
And it's a game that you must look back on. It says in the book you've watched it hundreds of times. And I'm not sure how you didn't win that game. 3-0 up, of course, at half-time. And you had a goal disallowed that probably shouldn't have been disallowed, if I remember rightly. You go in at half-time and then somehow everything changes. What do you think? If you've watched the game 100 times, what do you think happened?
I think it's something twisted, you know. Because if you look the second half, is the part 6 minutes where is Liverpool dominate. And then,
do you think you got complacent at halftime? Do you think you thought it was already won?
No, absolutely no. But we know that. Look, that was the serious professional guys. You know, we was good team, and then we take everything serious. And then the player with experience like Maldini, was Kaká, Crespo, Stamp, Dida. You know, we know what we're doing.
It's a great side.
Yeah, and then. We actually, Clarence, we come second half to play in a very good way. But that 6 minutes, it changed everything. And then basically we have in the beginning of the second half, we have 2 or 3 good chances to score, to go 4-0.
Yep.
And then I have to give the credit to spirit of the Liverpool players, but especially for Liverpool fans.
Yeah, they all started singing at half-time, didn't they?
You'll
never walk alone.
Exactly. That noise, that support, you know, I think it makes difference. And you never walk alone. This is a famous quote. And then I think it really got that energy for the players. And it's something click for 6 minutes, score goals, and then everything changed. And then after that, we still dominate the game. We still create the chances. But, you know, you feel that is something changing. I don't know how. You know exactly. Because
do you think though, like looking back, I mean, of all the kind of teams, a team from Italy that gets ahead,
Yeah.
They never let leads slip. It's not like,
No.
English football, you'd expect it, even German or Spanish, anyway. But Italian football, Catenaccio, all that, you're 3-0 ahead at half time. Normally you go, right, okay, we'll sit, we'll protect. Do you think that, I mean, it's easy in hindsight, isn't it? Do you think Ancelotti got that wrong?
I think we was not even thinking about that. We tried to play because in the way how we played, that we play, of course, we can drop a little bit back because we can squeeze the space, don't give a lot of pitch for the players, the Liverpool opponent. But I think we actually play. We try to play, we create the chances. Our mentality has always been like that because the Carlo Ancelotti, style and what we want to play that time. We want to attack, we want to create the chances. It was never been catenaccio for us. Yeah. But I think you obviously know, like me, in the sport, it's some dynamic. When it change,
the momentum shift, and the belief.
Exactly. Momentum shift. And also I had this chances in the last second.
I was going to talk with I mean, I must say, I've seen that a few times myself. And I actually, before you came, I wanted to see it again because you talk about something that happened in training a few days before. Yeah,
exactly, yeah. Because I don't know how, but this similar moment happened for me in the training. And then same action, ball come, cross, hit, did give the ball back, is coming to me. And then I kind of tried to place it, the ball. And then I think he just, from his reaction, react. And then he saved it, yeah. And then when exactly the same time it's coming in the game, I was sure I want to hit strong because I know the ball from that line, it could go everywhere. But when I saw the trajectory, when it hit the arms of the Dudek and it start to go up and then just go over.
I mean, it's an unbelievable save. I mean, obviously there's an element of good fortune because you must have thought you'd scored. As soon as you hit it, you must have gone, that's it, I've won the Champions League again.
I think he have a good reflection because in the moment when he was down, because the first save he make it also very difficult. And then when my second shoot, he just tried to stand up and then put his hands like that. And then the moment I hit their hands, and I'll be honest with you, for 3 months, I couldn't sleep. I basically, I was wake up in the morning, during the night, go downstairs, put the video, rewatch the moment again.
That moment, rather than, obviously your career is in many ways, is 2 penalty shootouts.
No, penalty shoot, I was watching specifically that moment when his double save.
Yeah.
Because that was the game over, last second. Yeah. You're gonna be some unbelievable final. But again, momentum, everything changed. Yeah. But I wanna give the credit to the Liverpool players because they believe he come back and hold. Obviously, it's a part of the sport. It's great. The football make this emotion for fans, for us, for athletes too, because you never know.
What's the difference between taking a penalty to win a Champions League final and taking a penalty to stay alive in a Champions League final?
It's pretty much same pressure. And
do you think so? Do you not think there's more pressure on you've got to score, otherwise you've lost, than there is I've got to score to make us win?
No, I don't think when you go there to taking the penalty, it's pretty much same feeling because you have to score. You know that if you have to score when you want to win, you have to score if it's just carry on. And but again, for me, that was when I was going, I really see how I want to take that penalty. But in the last second, I changed my mind.
You did that, which you've probably never done before. Why did you change your mind? Because
what happened, I saw him go right, and then the same, but I didn't open enough. I was scared to open a lot because I think I could miss that because the position maybe of my body was not that comfortable.
So you weren't trying to put little Panenka down the middle? Because that's what it looked like.
No, I actually opened slightly, but in the end I was close my feet because I was shooting. If I opened too much, I couldn't miss.
Yeah.
And then when I closed too much.
Yeah.
And then the ball went like that, and actually in diving, he left his
hand up. Yeah.
Hand up, yeah.
And how hard was that?
I was hard, very hard. It's one of the hard moment in the career because
it would have been a lot harder if you hadn't have done what you did 2 years earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
That would have. Imagine that if that had been the only Champions League final.
Yeah. Again, especially if it's for me because it's quite competitive, and then I feel like I let down my team because I'm looking at that game, how many chances I had. Also, I missed last penalty, and then I feel like I was leader of the team. Like we was a good group, and I feel a lot of responsibility for let the people down.
How were your teammates?
My teammates, we was a great group. We walk in the dressing room, and nobody was like shouting anything. We was very upset about, and we know we let that final go. He was in our hands, but anyway, I think that the feeling you have to pass, that everyone realize, work, analyze everything, and then the things settle down, and then we restart the season after that.
You seem to have a kind of love-hate relationship with Carlo Ancelotti throughout your time. A lot of times he would leave you out, and then obviously you started to get a few injuries that obviously had a big effect on your career in the latter stages. How was Carlo? Because everyone thinks he always seems like such a nice man, and he doesn't. But to be as successful as he's been, which is, it's unbelievable. Is what he's done it everywhere, hasn't he? As a manager and pretty good as a player as well. But you have to have, I suppose, a little bit of toughness about you.
You have to make the decisions, and then Carlo is great in that because Carlo is always nice. But when he made the decision, is very clear his decision. If he need to let you out, he will.
And every time he left you out, you didn't like being left out, did you?
Of course,
who does?
I respect that because, when they need to change you, you could be upset like everyone. And then, but the Carlo was good to manage that situation because he's never talk to you or try to, in that moment, he understand because he also been great player too. He understand the dynamic of the player mind, and then he give you time a little bit. You settle down. Maybe after the game, day after, or he called you in his office and talk to you.
Yeah, it's interesting because he does the foreword.
Yeah,
of course, for your book.
Yeah,
and he talked about the discussions that you have when you left out and you go and bang on his door and you going, I should be playing. No, you shouldn't. Yes, I should. No, you shouldn't.
That was the part because people think dressing room or the big teams everything have to be perfect. It's not.
No.
The dynamic it's in the dressing room change every day, and then only the leader, the Carlo was leader because we respect him. He make the plans. We also have a very good groups, but he was the leader. And then if they made a decision, we have to respect that. And then order of the coach and manager is such important. Manager and players, and then he works that. And then, but in generally in real life, the Carlo is in Italian call is a pezzo di pane, is piece of bread.
Piece of bread.
Yeah, it's so nice, and then
Pezzo di pane.
Pezzo di pane.
Yeah, I like that. I'll try and use that one at some point. It was around this time, wasn't it, that you got married, Kristen?
Yeah.
And I know you love golf, Andrea. I know you love golf, but when I was reading this, I thought, really?
Yeah.
Tell the story.
No, the story is it's simple and complicated. I'd say
it's extraordinary.
Yeah. No, because we had such a short time to vacation, and then it's only 25 days, and then I know I want to marry my wife, and then we talked before. I said, look, I really want to spend this time with you because she was pregnant with my first child. And I said, look, it's better we're planning something what we want to do. We're going to spend probably last time me and you together because next vacation going to be the child with us. I said, let's do in a way how we want. And still get nervous or try to organize the wedding. I know my wife, she's very much like me. She likes freedom. She doesn't want to complicate the life because organizing something like that, it takes the time and then it's gonna be nightmare. And then she was agree with me and we spent unbelievable time together. We went to Los Angeles and we did the coast of the California. We went Pebble Beach. Yeah.
Good golf course. Did you play Cypress Point?
Not that time.
No,
I tried to get in, but nobody left me. And then I play Spyglass, play Spanish Bay. We stayed together, and we did another part of the coast, going to Los Angeles and San Diego. Basically, we stayed 20-something day, driving the car, stay in different hotel, just discover California. And then in a way, go back. That was the plan. We're going to stop in Washington, Maryland. This is the home of my wife, where her parents lives. And then golf course Congressional, when all the family belong to. And then we just decide to get married there.
On the 14th hole.
On the 14th hole. But that was that was the luck because I was playing with her father, playing golf. And then she is and her mother, and then solicitor or the lady who does the ceremony.
The weddings,
She's come and then did small ceremony. And then on the 14th hole, and we carry on to play.
Was it on the tee? Was it on the fairway? Was it on the green? Was it in the bunker? I need to know.
The close for the fairway, or to the green. Sorry,
on the green.
Yeah. And then it's cool. I
think it's really cool. I think it's amazing and a damn sight cheaper than organising a big wedding.
Exactly. Yeah. Even in that way.
Even in that way. It was around this time when you started to pick up injuries, which is obviously something that you went through a lot of pain, a lot of struggles over the last few years of your career. It made me think, looking back to the early chapters about the hard training with Valerie and all that. Do you think perhaps looking back now, the amount of training you did, that also you spent an extra hour after everyone I saw in Milan practicing your finishing and stuff like that. Do you think perhaps that took its toll as well? Do you think you perhaps overdid it when you were young?
I think you're right 100% because you consume your body. And then the training what I did with Valery Lobanovsky is quite hard. And definitely I was consuming my energy, consuming my body, my jaw and everything. And then I start to feel like I get more tired, my back start to sore. But when I was in AC Milan, I had very good team around me, the physiotherapists, doctors, and with AC Milan also, I had a very good physiotherapist who come offside of the staff, and then he been working 3 times in a week with me and then helping me a lot.
Yeah. And describe to people how frustrating it is for a footballer with injuries, because I think sometimes football fans, they think, oh, he's always injured and they don't care, they don't really want to play, but it's so not true, isn't it? I mean, there is nothing worse than being injured. It's the most frustrating thing.
And then I've been unlucky with a lot of injury. Like I had a lot of operation, and then one of the bigger that was playing against Cagliari and for AC Milan. I broke 5 bones in my face, and then there was collarbone come inside, and I risked my life a lot. And the doctor said me I was very close to touch the eye nerve. Yeah, it could paralyze me forever, and especially playing striker, because when you jump in, that defender using the elbows, head, and everything, and then I get a lot of concussion.
Concussion at that point.
And then I've been operated 2 times by broken the nose plus this operation. It's in the end in your career you start to realizing that it's damage would been done by operation. Or also, we're not talking even normal injury like twist the ankle or knee or something like that. When you start to get in certain age, you start feeling that your body is not the same anymore.
No, it's very true. Do you think you were ever 100% fit at Chelsea?
No, I was very struggling since in the beginning. Yeah. That year of transition for me from AC Milan to Chelsea, it's only World Cup would I play for Ukraine that was coming in that year.
Yeah, 2006.
2006, yeah, because I was injured before the World Cup. I get injured playing one of the last games for AC Milan, and I was not sure I can even play the World Cup. But it was a 50-50, and the doctor said, what do you want to do? You want to play or you want to do operation? And I decide to risk and play. Yeah. And then I played the World Cup. We did very well.
You did really good. Quarterfinal.
Best in history, but first World Cup. But in the end of in the last game against Italy, I kind of shoot with the left feet, and I hurt again median meniscus, and I feel it that. And then I didn't have enough time to recovery because the seasons come. The finish, you have very short period for vacation. Exactly. It's only 10 days. Mourinho give it to us, and then. It's a lot of pressure. Everyone waiting, the big transfer. I come to preseason, and I feel like I'm tired. It's not enough time for me to recover, but I know I have to play. It's not option for me, And then I know that Jose knows about, and then in one point in September when the season start, we talk, and he said he said to me he didn't see me that fresh. I said, you're right, because I am not feeling well. And then in certain point we talk, and he said, Andriy, it's better I left you out, get your time, recovery, get in a good form. And I think that time it was in probably December. I was playing a couple games, not playing. He left me out. There was a lot of people, journalists, been throwing a lot of words about my performance, everything. But you're right. I didn't perform well. And I took some times, and I start feel bad in January. And then the Jose gave me more time to play, and then I start to get in better form, score a couple goals, everything. And then we come for, in the end of the last part of the season, and there was a lot of important games start to come out. The semi-final of the Champions League against Liverpool.
Yep.
And then just before that game, we had the very difficult game in a quarterfinal against Valencia. We beat Valencia, I think, 2-1 away, and then we qualified. And I feel something in my groin.
Yeah.
And then I played the Liverpool games, and then I already start to feeling every day more and more and more. And then before the return game at Anfield, we did the training, and I just walked to. I said, Jose, I need to talk to you. And then I said, I'm done. And then he said, okay, recover. See for next season if you can.
Yeah. How hard was that to deal with mentally?
That was very hard because I feel like we was there, semi-final of the Champions League, and then another semi-final was AC Milan playing against Manchester United. In the end, that was the final. It was hard for me because I couldn't accept that my body let me down again, because I wanna be part of the team. I wanna help. I wanna reach that final with the Chelsea. In the end, we lost a penalty against Liverpool and Anfield, and that was the season. I think in the end we won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
I couldn't play. I did the operation and I was out.
Yeah, a lot of injuries. You ended up, of course, going back to Milan for a while.
Yeah.
You played you played some great players in your career, didn't you? Particularly at Milan over the period. Maldini and Pirlo and Inzaghi and Beckham and Ronaldinho. In the second section. There's a lovely story in the book about you were kicking a ball around in the garden with Beckham, Nesta, Fabio.
Yeah, I remember that because we watched the game together. And then there was a Champions League, was Inter Milan playing against Manchester United. And then I was that time, my family, it was coming visiting me in Milan, but because the kids was very young, and my wife mostly stay here in UK, and then we did a nice dinner together, and then we watched the game, and then at some points we just went to it's a small garden, and we just have fun, play some football there.
Yeah. And your next door neighbour.
Paolo Maldini, we kicked the ball there.
and he brought the ball back for you.
Yeah.
Post-football, of course, you were coach of the Ukraine team that did really well.
Yeah.
What was that like being? What's the difference between being a player and being a coach?
It's a different responsibility, and then a lot more pressure. Absolutely different focus and plans. Is a big challenge for me. I took the team after 2016 European Cup in France.
Yeah.
Whereas the team didn't perform at all well. I think we lost every game. So we didn't score one goal when we get out. I was the assistant coach.
Then you got the main job.
Yeah, I get the main job, and then that was a lot of plans to change basically philosophy of little bit Ukrainian in a way how Ukrainian teams play. And then my assistant coach Mauro Tassotti, and video analyze Andrea Maldera. We get a lot of meeting together, and then we talk about style of Ukrainian football, and then how we want to change how the team have to play. And that was amazing, because the feedback from the player, it was great, because we proposed some plans immediately, and then I know the players was happy to hear that, because finally we want to play football, not just counter-attack or sits back and do a couple things and throwing ball there up and try to score. We basically develop some plans to play nice, attractive football with the build from the back, also control the space, control the situation. In the end, in the way how we play, it looks like, for me, I still watching a couple games, and then that was great to see that each player know and read the situation well and react to the situation in the same way. That was, for me, something what I'm very proud what we
and you went well
achieved.
You went well in the tournament. I mean, until you faced England, of course.
Yeah, I think for us, because if you remember, Gary, that European Championship been moved.
Yeah.
And then that was for us. It's little bit damage us, because our best team with the best player and perform player, that if it's the European come before.
Yeah.
Because we did very well in qualified, we dominate. There was the Portugal, and then the Portugal was the champion of the European Cup before, and then we play very well against. We beat Portugal at home. We come first in the group, and I feel like if the tournament come straight after, a
bit earlier, but because the pandemic and stuff, it was
exactly. We are full confidence. After that, we changed couple players. Some players, it was very young, doesn't have any experience. But in the end, there was a very, very good European Cup for us.
You've given us a lot of time here, Andriy. I fully appreciate that. But I know that people love to know what great players are like as people as well, and what they're like and stuff. So let me ask you about, because you've played with some of the all-time greats. Paolo Maldini, who's that incredible football family that go all the way through. What a player! What was he like?
Unbelievable. He, in the way how Paolo played the games, and then he in the way he trained in the same way. Professional, incredible player, such a strong. And just great human being, great guy. He have a very strong natural quality, and then he loves challenge.
Yeah,
he is watching. Yeah, basically, my first time I met Paolo Maldini playing against him. I remember I was
Kiev.
Kiev, not Kiev. Ukrainian national team. We play against Italy in Kiev, December, and then I was freezing cold. That time Italy come. That was Ravanelli, Luca Vialli, Zola, Paolo Maldini. And then I play in the right wing. I didn't play striker. And Paolo play left defender. And I was quite confident. I was very fast. I was thinking I might have a chance. If I have very good ball with my speed, I could pass him. And then that was the first ball come on the space. I looks Paulo is facing me, and then have to turn, and I just get the acceleration. And in time when I passing him, I saw him turn, and it actually got me. And then he tackled behind me like that, and I realized no chance here. And I asked coach, can I go on the left side?
It's very wise.
Yeah. He is unbelievable player. His quality, determination, and challenge. He loves challenge.
Yeah. Pirlo, you say in the book that his expression of his face never changes. Whether he's happy or sad, you don't know.
Yeah, because Andrei is, it's always the same. It could be war started, and then he can walk inside of the room, and then he gonna have exactly the same expression. Andrea, come stai? Tutto bene, tutto bene. Like nothing happened, you know. I think he's a genius. He's a genius
as a footballer.
Yeah, technical style, also his vision, and then. Passing skills.
He was struggling to get in the team, wasn't he, until Ancelotti came in?
Yeah, because he played a little bit up. He played like number 10 behind the two striker. And I think he's technically, everybody knows he was a very talented player. But the physically, especially, is a very short space. It's not a lot of time. You know, you have to have a different quality to play in that rules. And then Carlo realized if he drops him a little bit back, you give him a lot more time. And this is where Andrea went
like incredible. A quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Because his best quality is precision, timing, and accuracy of the passing. Like he could give you ball between two defender, you're gonna run 30 meters, and then this ball gonna go up in the sky.
Perfect to play with for a center forward. Like
exactly, perfect in your feet, and not just when you stand, when you're running.
Yeah, a bit like Glenn Hoddle. I used to play with.
I heard about.
I mean, very similar footballers, and
I didn't watch him a lot, but I asked about a lot of players. It said this. It's a very similar quality.
Yeah. I've got to ask you about Ronaldinho. Obviously, we all know how wonderful a footballer he was, but he really did appear to be a lot of fun as well.
He's a very fun person. I never see anyone with most talent technical players. I mean, Andrea Pirlo, great, but they have a different
skills.
Yeah. Ronaldinho can do anything with the ball.
Yeah.
And he is fun to be around.
Can imagine.
Yeah, because he's always smile. He have his entourage around him. I think he have to change a little bit his way to approach the training in AC Milan, because in Barcelona probably he had a lot more fun and everything. But in AC Milan, when they come, I think he realized that he have to change a little bit approach, be a little bit more serious, because that was the seniors of the team, like Maldini, Costacurta, anybody else asking for that, because be a little bit more serious. Yeah. But he's such a fun guy around me.
Yeah, I can imagine. I was struck in the book about your admiration for David Beckham, because we all see him obviously as a global superstar. But I think sometimes people forget how good a footballer he was and actually how hard he worked.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. His work attitude is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then he's such a big star, everything, a celebrity, but he's very humble too.
He's a good guy.
He's a great guy. Yeah. And then during that time for 3-4 months, we get the dinner together, we go alone, and then it changed a lot my view about celebrity. Look at him, he is He is such a nice guy.
Yeah, he certainly is. Who was the best player you ever played with?
I want to say that position. If we talk about defender, is probably Paolo Maldini for sure. Yeah. If we talk about midfielder, Andrea Pirlo, I think it could be Clarence Seedorf also.
Yeah, he was great.
A great player. But Andrea Pirlo. Attacking midfielder, I would say, even playing with Ronaldinho, I think that I play with Ricky Kaká in his prime. Yeah. His prime when he was top. Because Ronaldinho came in AC Milan, he was already
towards the latter stages of his career.
Exactly. But I remember Ricky Kaká when he's come the first training. We look him like he looks like the boy, 18 years boy, come from the school. And then in the time when he start training, his speed accelerated, and then his quality. And then after first training, I think 4 or 5 of us come to Ancelotti say he have to play immediately. Yeah. And then he's come right in the squad. He was in the competition with Rui Costa. Rui was great player too, but he gave us such a big impact in the Milan squad. And then I think in the prime, it's a Ricky prime. It's one of the best what I play with in attack.
What's next for Andriy Shevchenko? You dabbled in politics at one stage.
No, that was the just small. I'd say part of my life. I learned so quickly that it's not part of my identity, And then I just changed my route and I went to coaching. It's definitely gonna be sport, and it's gonna be football in my life.
Yeah. Obviously, it must be very difficult with the ongoing situation in your homeland. What are you hoping happens?
Yeah, it's mostly what I think right now about, because I put myself to serve my country, and then I'm going a lot there. And like I said before, my rules is try to organize the event for Ukraine. Also, especially right now, because after almost 2 years, the news changed, the people didn't talk a lot about, but is necessary to talk about Ukraine, because news gonna takes a little bit in different attention, but this is I think the big issue for the world, that sort out all this war.
It must have affected some of your relationships with your Russian friends. I'm thinking, obviously, Roman Abramovich, that you were pretty close to him at Chelsea. How's that now?
No, since the war started, I close every relationship with Russian. Yeah, because in the moment, I don't even don't want to talk, because I'm very concentrated in that, and whatever is happening in my country it's hurt me a lot.
Do you fear that it'll just go on for year after year?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. We have to commit it for that, but because we don't have any different solution, because we're not talking about, we're talking about life or death. For us, is to be Ukrainian or to be. It's gonna be exist country or not. Well, it's for me. It's very easy for me, because I see the world now white and black. For me, it's for most Ukrainian all Ukrainian people is like that. Yeah. Because we fight for exist. Yeah. And we have to do everything to exist.
Andriy, thank you so much. It's been really enlightening. You've had an amazing career, and Good luck with the book. Hope it sells lots of copies. I can highly recommend it. Thank you for giving us so much of your time. It's massively appreciated. Thank you.
No, thank you, Gary. I very enjoyed the talk about, and I appreciate that.